going on, y'all? I mean, it's freaking Heir to the freaking animal. Oh my goodness, I'm glad I don't return by death. With that being said, let's cap on over to the video because this is Rem if ReZero Sloth if story part. Trace. The number 3. Yeah, you know, gotta continue this bad boy because it's pretty dope. Pretty fun time. Almost done with it, so you know, I'm kind of taking my time with it, but without further ado, let's hop in this bad boy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Welcome back, ReZero fans. It's time for another episode of the ReZero Sloth If story. This is part 3, so if you haven't seen the first 2 videos, click the link in the description. This video will cover chapters 4 and 5, and we have no time to waste, so let's get right into it. For the past several days, Tia has been living in the old apartment. Hallible lives in the apartment to her right, and Subaru and Rem live in the apartment to her left. And by the way, the walls of these apartments are very thin, so sometimes at night, Tia will sit with a red face listening to the noises coming from the apartment to her left. Every morning,
I should have played the song.
Together. Tia still doesn't know how to use chopsticks, so she holds one in each hand and makes a total mess every time she tries to eat. One particular morning, Tia tries to get Hallible to find her a job.
She didn't grits with chopsticks?
The only thing she's good at is killing, but she doesn't feel like killing anymore. So Hallible recommends that she either becomes law enforcement or a bounty hunter. She's a strong fighter, so arresting criminals would probably be easy for her. Tia gets excited by this idea, so she grabs Hallible by the neck and drags him outside with her.
Why?
She makes him take her to the town's quest board so they can take a look at all the wanted posters.
Okay, I'm gonna let that get off me!
They end up tracking down a thief who tries to blow them up with magic stones, but Tia punches him in the face and ties him up. She even gets him to snitch on a bunch of other criminals in the town, resulting in a very successful
Is that dude from Konosuba?
Bounty hunting.
Is this
Later
the Thieves Guild?
When Tia gets back to
Skyrim?
the apartment, she proudly displays her large bag of reward money and then tries to put her feet up on the dinner table, obviously resulting in a scolding from Rem. However, her eyes lit up when Rem presented her with a gift, a brand new wooden spoon. Finally, she didn't have to use those annoying chopsticks anymore. Tia smiled as she ate with her new spoon, and she appeared to enjoy Rem's food more than anyone else did. It was like she was some rare animal that had never experienced home-cooked meals before.
Or
After dinner, Hallible announces that he's gonna get drunk and then take a bath, when suddenly Rem says, "Let's go to the bathhouse." That's right. This is the hot spring episode of the Sloth If story.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Rem! Cover your eyes, kids. Cover your eyes. Whoa. Relax.
Hallible and Subaru try to relax in the water, but Tia climbs the wall and tries to wave to them from the other side. She was naked, but sadly the wall covered up all the good stuff.
Sadly.
Her wet hair and shoulders were quite charming, and Tia was honestly really attractive. But she was too innocent to understand the purpose of the wall, so she tries to climb over and jump into the men's bath.
Is that a chain?
Suddenly, Subaru hears the all-too-familiar sound of chains, and then something wraps around Tia and pulls her back down. Rem apologizes from the other side of the wall, and Subaru wonders how and why she brought her morning star into the bath. On their way back to the apartment, Subaru notices that Tia's been wearing a new bracelet. Apparently, Hallible bought it for her as a gift. As the four of them walk together, Tia starts humming a song. The same song from last chapter, actually. Hallible asks her what it's called, and Tia replies with the Die song. But other than that, it was a wonderful night, and everything was going well.
That seems very ominous. I don't like that.
This is chapter 4, 6 months.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna get bad. You know it is.
The days continued flowing by like water. The four friends kept visiting the bathhouse together, and Tia kept humming her song on the journey back home. Rem has been pregnant for 6 months, and they've been neighbors with Tia for 3 months without any problems. At first, they were worried, but by now, it was a completely stable life. By the way, Tia thinks pregnancies last for 12 months, but nobody even bothered correcting her. She had become an irreplaceable friend to them at this point.
Aww.
But the truth was, Tia still wanted her light ball back, and even though she hadn't spoken of it for months, it was still in the back of her mind. But Tia had actually made the town a much safer place by arresting all the criminals and hunting down all the mob beasts. The townspeople had started to appreciate Tia, and as a way of thanking her, a mountain of gifts were left inside Tia's apartment. Tia got embarrassed when she saw everything. It was flowers, candy, kimonos, all sorts of stuff just for her.
Until her alter ego comes out.
The four friends had a big feast to celebrate Tia becoming a member of the town. After the feast was over, Tia fell asleep immediately.
On the floor.
Apparently, one of her gifts was an expensive bottle of alcohol, and she drank it without knowing what it was. Rem grabbed a blanket to put over Tia so she wouldn't catch a cold, but suddenly Tia wakes up and grabs her.
Yup, evil.
Rem was the only one close enough to see Tia's face, so Hannibal and Subaru didn't notice, but Tia had been crying. "Give it back," she says. And before Rem could realize what was happening, the wind blew.
Did she kill Rem? She better not kill.
Rem violently flew across the room and slammed into the wall. Tia's eyes looked like she was dreaming, and with tears pouring down her face, she mutters, "My body, where is it? Where did it go?" Hannibal quickly realizes that Tia was a threat, so he dashes forward and hits her with enough force to cut through a tree, but Tia dodges it and shot back at him with wind magic. The two of them fought for a while, but the apartment building was starting to collapse. Subaru grabs Rem and gets her out of the apartment. She was in terrible pain. Rem's body bent with an agonized look on her face as she held on to her stomach. Meanwhile, the destruction in the apartment continued.
Not the baby.
Subaru runs back inside and yells at both of them to stop fighting. Suddenly, the madness left Tia's eyes and Hannibal put his weapons away. Tia looked around at her surroundings with a confused expression. "We need to take Rem to a healer right now," Subaru says. Hannibal picks her up and then jumps across the street, and Subaru hurries after him, leaving Tia behind, alone.
Yeah. No, actually, don't take her with you. No.
Stop Subaru from leaving, but she didn't know what to say, so she just sat there cowering like a child.
No, take her with you.
She extends her hand, but obviously couldn't reach him. Subaru was angry and afraid of Tia, but right now, all he cared about was his wife and child. Fortunately, the baby was alright, and Rem was able to recover too.
Whew.
But after that night, Tia never returned to the apartment building.
Called it. I knew man, it might get... If she's kind of crazy, you gotta talk that out, bro.
10 months.
You gotta talk that out, bro.
The noisy, fun life they had with Tia had met its end, and the next 3 months went by within the blink of an eye. Rem still loved Tia from the bottom of her heart, but even hearing her name gave Subaru an unpleasant feeling. He was still angry at her, and he definitely hadn't forgiven her. But regardless, Tia was no longer a part of their lives, and really neither was Hannibal. Ever since that night, Hannibal was committed to finding wherever Tia ran off to, so Rem and Subaru didn't see much of him anymore either. But they had bigger things to worry about. At this point, Rem's baby could be born at any moment.
Stop it.
One morning, Subaru heads out to the market to get some groceries when suddenly he sees a flash of white that reminds him of Tia's hair. He keeps chasing after it until eventually he ends up in a dark alleyway.
This is gonna be the evil version, bro.
The person he finds is definitely Tia, but something was different.
Yep.
Yeah, it was her clothing. The Tia Subaru remembered had a white outfit, but this time it was black. "Die," she says, and then a violent wind of bloodlust hits Subaru directly. Well, at least that's what should have happened. Somehow Subaru survived the attack. Yeah, seconds before the wind was about to touch him, Tia grabbed him and flung him out of the attack's radius. That's right, Subaru was now looking at 2 different Tias, each wearing a different colored outfit.
Okay.
Subaru joins
yin
the
yang
fight
type of
too
thing?
and starts throwing onions at the Black Tia. His
Onions.
throws were pathetic and nothing he threw actually hit the target, but after he throws a bottle of alcohol, the Black Tia stops moving.
The Black Tia is crazy.
As
That's
the
a
scent
crazy
of
thing to say.
alcohol reaches her nose, she covers her face with her hands and lets out a groan full of pain. This should have been a victory for the White Tia, but she was affected by the alcohol as well. Apparently, Tia must have had some traumatic experience with alcohol in the past, because when she smells it, she loses the ability to function. Surprisingly, the Black Tia's face starts melting. Her body slowly falls off of itself like she was shedding her skin or something. Even the size and shape of her body was changing, as if she had been using some kind of transformation spell. Now guys, there is no official art for this character, and I couldn't even find any fan art, so I apologize for the lack of visuals here, but hopefully the words will be enough to help you picture her in your head. The Black Tia had transformed into a young woman that looked about 20 years old. She had dark brown hair, a pale face, and light blue eyes that were filled with hatred for Subaru. But her most remarkable feature was the two glowing objects protruding from her skull. Yes, this woman was another Oni, the same race as Rem. Looking at Subaru, the Oni woman's bloodlust overflowed, and the storm of wind obliterated the surrounding buildings, causing them to collapse into the alleyway. The White Tia was still frozen stiff, so Subaru carries her out, and the two of them escape back to the apartment. When Rem saw Tia, she tackled her with a hug. After a 3-month hiatus, Tia was finally back, and yes, she's got some explaining to do. Hannibal had returned as well, and the four of them all sat down for a while and had a long conversation.
Hannibal probably smelled her like, I'm back, baby.
Finally, the Tia mystery was for the most part solved. Apparently, Tia had no idea until today that she had a clone. What happened was, a young Oni woman stole Tia's light ball, which was basically the source of her power. So with the light ball in her possession, the Oni woman gained Tia's appearance as well as her wind magic capabilities. But because she was the same race as Rem, they both smelled the same to Tia, so that's why Tia thought Rem took the light ball. Tia also reveals her true name. Yes, she is the Great Spirit Celestia, also known as the Phantom Killer or the Most Beautiful Shinigami. And the light ball is actually an extremely dangerous item. While Celestia has it, she turns into a ruthless murderer like the Black Tia is. In fact, if Tia had it right now, she wouldn't be able to stop herself from killing everyone in the town, including Rem and Subaru. So whenever she finally gets it back, she's gonna have to stay far away from civilization, and she'll never get to see Rem and Subaru again. Hannibal had some new information for us as well. Apparently, the Oni woman was the one who accepted the quest to investigate Celestia's bed. However, she wasn't very interested in the actual quest, but more so the light ball itself. She wanted to use the light ball's power to fight the witch cult, because just like Ram and Rem, her village was also attacked by the witch cult when she was a child. And remember, Subaru smells like the witch, so the Oni woman must think Subaru is a witch cultist, which would explain why she keeps attacking him. Anyway, Tia is ready to go off on her own to fight the Oni woman for the light ball, so she says goodbye to everyone and then flies off into the night sky. And yes, Rem was very sad about this because it meant she would never get to see Tia again. But as heartbreaking as it was, there was still a much more immediate issue taking place. That's right, Rem was finally going into labor. The baby was going to be born, and Rem and Subaru's lives were about to change forever. Subaru carries Rem through the streets of Kararagi, running as fast as he can,
Why she look like that?
realizing that, in a sense, he was still running away. Now, the next chapter is an interlude called Death Anniversary. And guys, I want to ask you how you'd like me to handle it, because in the next chapter, there will be a very brief appearance of an Arc 5 or a Season 3 character. They only have like 2 lines of dialogue, and the chapter doesn't spoil anything other than this character's personality, so in my opinion, it's not a big deal at all. but I know some people are really sensitive about spoilers, so I thought I'd just ask you guys first. Should I include the spoilers to their maximum potential,
why not?
or just
This is 5 years ago anyway,
It's up
right?
to you guys, let me
Might as
know.
well-
Anyway,
might as well.
these were both really good chapters. I know the story is supposed to be about
Wow.
Rem and Subaru, but I'm finding myself getting more and more attached to the new characters instead. I'm glad everything is finally starting to come together, and I'm looking forward to seeing this final battle between the two Tias. This next chapter, though, honestly might be the most interesting one in the entire Sloth If story, so I can't wait to read this again.
We might have to do this soon,
But yeah,
actually.
guys, if you want to support
Number 4
the
coming
series,
soon.
don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe to be notified whenever the next part comes out.
Dope, man. This one is definitely the most has been the most entertaining in my opinion so far. I mean, obviously it's the longest, so like there's more stuff going on, but sheesh. Like, I mean, because I definitely, even before I knew about the If stories, I was like when he was talking about Let's Run Away, I want to know how that would have gone. I thought about that like a long time ago. Like, what how would go if they did that? It's so interesting to see the differences. It's also interesting that dude is just basically just chilling out with Hannibal, just character. We still haven't really seen him all like that in the anime as much, like a couple times I believe. He's definitely shown up with like just like here and there, if I'm not mistaken. So I just love that he was this really strong character. Just we're just friends. We're cool. We're gonna smoke a little something like Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? Well, whatever. But otherwise, I appreciate y'all. Tell me what y'all think about the If stories, man. I know a lot of people give me their a lot of people have already given me their opinion on the If stories. Which one's your favorite one, bro? Which one's your favorite one? And yeah, who's your favorite? You know, who's your favorite waifu in the ReZero series? Who's your waifu, right? Who's your waifu, bro? Is it Subaru? You little nasty? Probably is. I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.